All right, so this one's called American Rêvelution, and I guess I mean it's hard to well, it's American Rêvelution. So Rêve is French for dream. It's R-E-V-E, and the first E has like this little arrow over top of it. And I don't know, I don't know. There's something that before I started writing this, I was like trying to write a lot of like dream punk like fiction. So when I discovered the word rev, I was like, oh, punk rev. So and then it's great because there's a lot of words you can kind of like flip around and turn into new words. So American Rêvelution. The rainbow-painted van drove over the sandy hills, through the green of the valley, across a bridge over a dried-up creek, into a slight pine forest with sparrows singing in the shade. Jackson Woolreich held the wheel, steady as the asphalt, turned into gravel, and then to dirt. His foot on the gas pedal was unchanged over varying terrain, pushing the van on at an enchanting velocity, while his mouth, unaltered, spewed prophetic delinquencies and explicit musings. He turned away from the road, and over the right of his shoulder, he yelled at Dorian Daiquiri, "Baby, take off those knickers and show us that amazing ass of yours. Show us those rhythmic hips, swaying back and forth with every bump and shock in the drive, writing poetry in the air with your derriere." He yelled to his other passenger, Dana Salome, "Darling, give us a chorus with those self-sizing lips. Show us some soul. Show us we still live. Show us we're alive and we're still able to fuck in our sleep." He drove on, and the girls, they sang and danced. He continued with his raptured dialogue, his diatribe, his unending fuck-driven dreams of peace. They both listened and communicated. Their ecstasy-laden bosoms blossomed. The pallor of their skin rose in color with the pinks and reds of orgasmic arousal. Dana sang a song both sad and delighted, reminiscent of those once turned over by Billie Holiday, filled with depravity and the enjoyment of being attractive intimately, while Dorian danced zigzags and funky gesticulations, writing seductive spells of rhythmic she-witchery. Standing down the road a few miles away, Jeffrey Lewis, the traveling salesman and part-time musician, had no idea what would hit him in a few minutes' time. Standing there practicing a few chords, with sun in his eyes and good soul in his heart, he only hoped to catch a ride to Memphis. It never dawned on him that the ride coming his way would lead him to fulfillment beyond his wildest fantasies. The van crept closer, and Jackson spotted the musician with his outstretched thumb, taking good measure of the guitar the man carried with his other arm. Jackson told the girls, "It's time for war paint, my darlings. Fast now, a new passenger awaits. We will take him to the sex caves with us and beyond. But first we must invite him into our tribe, and with him continue this revolution further down on the road." With this, the girls grabbed at each other's hair, tying bones and seashells into the bangs while painting reds and yellows on the other's cheeks, and under the eyes, a narrow blue, causing the fiercest of all warmongers' faces. The women were ready for seductive invitation. They were ready for more to go further than before. The van rolled up and passed where Lewis stood, and as he raced towards the vehicle, the girls readied themselves by disbanding all clothing. Jackson Woolreich, who was now shirtless, called out to the boy, "All aboard, my dear fellow! This train ride goes all the way to Oakland Bay! Ain't got time to hang on like it's a waiting room! Hurry now and see us go onwards to the stars and what have you!" And with that, the side door slid open, and the two girls latched onto Lewis, pulling him into their embrace, throwing him with his guitar to the back of the van, while Jackson Woolreich popped the vehicle again into high gear, rolling aimlessly down the beaten road. The girls were all snarls, ripping at Lewis's clothing, leaving claw marks across his chest, and even drawing blood as they bit his neck. He didn't scream, but instead began to laugh, these wild women giving him every single pleasure to his heart's content, grabbing at his cock now and drizzling all over it, their war paint bleeding onto his bare skin, coloring him yellow and green and blue and purple, a tie-dyed haze of the sexually conquested. A man from Earth spiraling into outer space. Doreen working her incredible ass up and down right on top of his enlightened face, still laughing ecstatically, tongue and all, up into that deep cavernous cunt of hers, while Dana howls a soulful sonnet over his gargantuan phallus, now swelling between her lips. The van hurtling in top speed down American high heaven ways. Jackson Woolreich still shouting his wordsmith's ramblings at top volume. To whoever will listen, stopping only briefly to look in the rearview mirror and shout back, "Hey Lewis, stop lying there like a lazy fat cat from nowhere and get that guitar between your arms. Hurry now, play me something quick before we start to lose our humble trajectory. And Dana, just don't stop singing or Doreen's going to lose her rhythm." So just like that, the whole ensemble has turned into a psychedelic rock band, with Jackson Willreich shouting out his beat lines, providing the percussion, and the girls giving it their all, song and dance straight from the soul, while Lewis starts to shred some distinct chords all his own. The roadways can't handle this kind of debauchery, and everything starts to get all wiggly with the harsh desert sun beating down a mirage in the wind. No other cars on the road stand a chance, the volcano of synchronicity formalizing the sound. So just like that, Lewis is coming between Dana's sweet teeth and his yellow seed dripping down her chest, her singing in jubilee. And Doreen has gotten all juicy, holding onto the ceiling to stay upright, while her whole midsection turns into one giant earthquake. That ass of hers now driving downwards in such a fierce musical vibration, the van shaking back and forth from the whole motion, and its wheels sliding in the sand, Jackson Willreich still plowing onwards, his speech turned from quoting the distinct subtleties of surrounding landmarks to the absolute perfection of truths and their sensations. For just a moment, the whole world could be stunned, or could be summed up by this fantastic orgasm happening so quickly and majestically, with music accompanying each rhapsody, and the van, breathing heavily now, continues to drive further into the dream.